Today I'm going to tell you the story of a bloodthirsty predator living in the outback of Australia. The story predates writing. It's the story of the Yara, a red-skinned, toad-like creature that lives in fig groves. So the story goes, there's a poacher one day setting out traps. And it's blazing hot, and he's been setting out traps for a long time. He's sweating profusely. He's very parched. And eventually, he decides that he's going to take a break from his illegal ensnaring of elusive creatures, and he's going to take a little nap under a fig tree. Soon, however, the forest, the environment around him becomes silent, ominously silent. All of the creatures around sense danger, and so does he. But he realizes much too late. And while he's attempting to flee, he's descended upon by a colony of Yaramayahu. Now, these creatures have gaping, toothless mouths. And so they use their suckers on their hands and their feet, because their suckers have jagged points that are able to tear the flesh. And so he is not only paralyzed with fear, there are too many of them for him to be able to escape, and they are sucking the life force from him. They are draining him of all of his blood. But before he is completely drained, they remove themselves from him and they back away. Now he is so thankful that they are not going to kill him until he realizes that something much larger is coming towards him. And in fact, this is their queen, and she's crawling on all 4 feet, and she looks a Komodo dragon, except her mouth is gaping wide, and she's red-skinned, just like the rest of them. And she takes his head and into her entire mouth, and she sucks him in halfway, and then stands up on her hind legs and does a little jiggle dance until he's completely in the belly of her gullet. Now, this meal has made her quite thirsty, so she finds her way to a riverbank and drinks her fill of water, and then she proceeds to take a nap. He is unfortunately wide awake and alive and conscious within the Yaramayahu queen, who is sleeping, until her stomach starts to contract and she spews him out onto the bank of the river. She pokes him and she tickles him and she prods him just to make sure that he's dead. And when he doesn't move, she decides to go back to sleep. Now, the poacher is not actually dead. He's still alive, but he's took a gamble and played dead. He played possum. So once she's asleep again, he starts to crawl away. He musters every ounce of energy that he has left in his weakened state and is able to get back to his vehicle and drive home. Now, he was hopeful that he would be able to start feeling better and regain his strength once home. But instead, he continuously gets weaker and weaker. His veins feel as if they're burning. His skin starts to turn a shade of red, redder than any sunburn he's ever had. His nose starts to sniff out the scent of blood, and food does not satisfy him any longer. All he desires is blood. Now, what is happening to him is that he's actually transforming into one of the creatures that attacked him. Now, there are some stories that have it that you have to be swallowed and regurgitated multiple times for you to be able to turn into a Yaramayahu. But in this version, it only took the one time before he starts his transformation into the same creature that attacked him in the outbacks of Australia. I'm Vanessa Y. Rogers. I am the podcast host of Fabric of Folklore, and once a month, Donna Lee Fields and I co-host Fairy Tale Flip, where we look at fairy tales. So if this is a story you want to learn more about, make sure you tune in to our Fairy Tale Flip episode this month, because this Australian folktale is the story that we plan to unravel. We're going to flip it on its head. We're going to find all its hidden mysteries and its historical context. So make sure you stay tuned for this episode because it's going to be fascinating. Have a great day. Until next time.